I'm going to ask questions as I begin here, because there's a lot of students in here, and there might be some older people in here that have heard these stories about, this is going to be a little bit of a different spin from where we just came, but I've just got to set you up for this, okay? So how many of you have heard of these stories of where adults want to eat children? Raise your hand if you've heard stories like that. Yeah. Hansel and Gretel? Oh my gracious, right? Yeah. So anyway, guys, listen. I know there's another one, Jack and the Beanstalk, where that big giant is looking for Jack, who's gone up this beanstalk, to look for the golden egg. But I remember the giant saying, I smell fee, fi, fo, fum. I smell the blood of an Englishman. Be he live or be he dead, I'll grind his bones to make my bread. Ooh, morbid. Anyway, I'm letting you know that these stories are what we grew up with. We read them in books. I'm letting you know that. I'm prefacing this because I want you to know the story I'm going to tell you. They didn't come from storybooks. They were passed generation to generation to another generation through listening and telling. That's how my story is going to be passed down to you. But it has that same component of someone who wants to eat children. All right. The story was given to me since I was in the 6th grade. I heard it from Grandpa Siegfried Ayakuma, and I recorded him telling that story, and so I had to transcribe it to put into a book. And so I remembered it, and it won't leave my mind, so it's stuck in my brain. So I'm going to share it with you tonight. I'm going to get a little animated, so I'm going to put this down, because I don't need it all the time, because my voice is teacher voice. We'll go into teacher voice, okay? You know how those voices sound, right? All right. So I'll see how this, let me work without it and see if it'll, can you do okay without it? Yeah. All right, so here I go. Once upon a time, there were children who were playing at a mouth of a river. Oh, they were having so much fun. And then they were not too far from the village, so there's this woman who saw them, and so she walked to them and said, "Hey, you kids, do you want me to go and get you some toys and maybe some plates and bowls so you can have a picnic?" And they're like, "Yeah, okay, sure, that'd be nice, and I'll bring some toys too." They're like, "Yeah, okay, that'd be nice." So she said, "Well, in order for me to find where you are, I'm going to take my parkie off and set it here. I want you kids to jump in that parkie so you could stay there, and I know where to find you." So the kids jump into the parkie, and she ties the knot so she could keep the kids there. And then she heads back to the village. And as she's gone, pretty soon the kids, they hear this little bird come and land on the parkie. And the little bird said, "Hey, you kids, listen up. That old lady, she's not going to go get you some toys and some bowls and things for lunch. No, no, no. She's not going to do that. What she's going to do is she's going to go back and she's going to go get her ulu." I don't know if you know what an ulu is, but it's a crescent-shaped knife made for women that have a handle, big blade. Anyway, that's what she's going to go and get. And and she wants to eat you alive. And the kids were like, oh, what are we supposed to do? Well, I'm going to help you by taking my beak, and I'm going to untie the knot. And when I do, you can jump out. So the bird took its little beak, and it just picked at that knot, and picked and picked and picked and picked. It wasn't long before the knot came undone, and the kids were able to jump out. And the bird then said, I need for you to fill that parky full with rocks so that makes it look like you're still in there. So that's exactly what the kids did. They took rocks and they put them in the parky to make it look big. And the bird said, now tie a knot on the top. And they listened to the bird and tied a knot on the top. And the oldest boy said, what are we supposed to do now? Where do we hide? And the bird says, yeah, just you get to go across the river. How are we going to go across the river? And the bird said, whoa, you could use my legs for a bridge. So the bird stretched its legs all the way across the river so the kids could climb across like a bridge. And so each of them went across. When they went across, the bird said, now go and hide in those trees. Everyone, just go hide underneath the trees. Yes, thank goodness that they did that, because it wasn't long before that woman came. Oh, she was so happy, singing a song, carrying her ulu in her hand, saying, oh, I'm going to have such a good lunch. The kids don't even know. I don't have playthings for them, but I know exactly where they are. She was such a greedy woman. Soon as she got up to that parky, she didn't even bother to untie it or anything. She went with her ulu and she struck that parky, and all she could hear was So she tried again. And of course, just like you're giggling, the kids couldn't help it across the river. They're like and she noticed them laughing. How do you get across there? Of course, that brave oldest kid said, oh, we came on the bird's legs. And the bird said, oh yeah, I'll stretch my legs across. And the kids are like, is she really helping us? But anyway, that lady's so greedy, she'd like do anything to get to those kids. So that bird stretched its legs all the way across. And that lady got on its legs, started, and then the bird pulled its legs back and she fell in the water and went splash. And the bird was tried again. She just did it again, and then she said, I'm not doing that anymore. I don't want to even try that. So that brave boy, he yelled again and said, ha, you know what we did? We drank the water, we drank the river and emptied it. So that woman, she's so greedy, what she did, she just started drinking all that water. She drank the leaves that were floating down, the twigs, everything that was floating in that river, till all the water was in her stomach. It was getting bigger and bigger and bigger. She was walking across, dragging her stomach. She could see the pebbles at the bottom of the sand of the river as making it across, going and going and going, until one of the kids said, look behind you. Your dog's gonna bite your belly. And she moved so fast that she popped, and there went all the water, and the woman with her, and that was the end of her. That was how the kids were saved from that woman. Happy ending. That is a happy ending. So that is a story I've told my sons when they're growing up, and when I go to school, so I've created a lesson and story for teaching lesson on storytelling. So kids, it's entertainment. And one thing I've learned about living here in the interior of Alaska is that I've learned that when you tell a story, the Athabascans say that you take a bite out of the winter. So I think I just helped take a bite out of the winter, so, right? Thank you so much for letting me share that story.